Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. In one of my recently posted videos where I unpacked a bunch of AliExpress orders, I mentioned that I had ordered a bunch of batteries. They come in a set of 3 to replace the old batteries on an Airpod version 1 or 2. So in this video I'm gonna try and do just that. Now, I did not video the opening and removing of the old batteries because I didn't know whether I'd be able to do it and how far I'd get. And also at the time I wasn't sure that I was going to invest in new batteries. Anyway, so let's proceed with installing these batteries. Let me first start by explaining quickly what I will be doing. So the case, this part here removes. Took a lot of work to get this to open. And yes, I did cause quite a bit of damage to the case, but that's just plastic. I can maybe heat it up and fix some of this stuff. Anyway, so this part opens, and then this battery here needs to go inside, and the battery here has a connector, that connector right there, and that one goes inside here in the motherboard. I'll try to see if I can get a good close-up using the microscope. Okay, so that's as far as the case goes. And then there are 2 thin cylindrical batteries, and one for each of the headset, the headphone part. So the battery goes inside the hole here, and then there's a positive and a negative, which involves a bit of soldering. So this is what I'll be doing to replace the battery. I remember that I had a battery internal resistance meter, and so I'm curious to see what the old battery will measure compared to the new battery. So let's start with the old battery. So the old battery is showing 2.6, around 2.6 volts with an internal resistance of 285. Let me freeze this. Okay, so this is going to remain frozen, and now I will swap to the new battery. Okay, so the old one was 2.6 and 285. The new one, 3.5 volts, 221. So there's about 64 milliohm difference. The newer one is a bit better, and actually the older one was only at 2.5 volts, and as the battery is more charged, the resistance will be higher. Assuming, I mean, this machine I think gives out a constant current when it's measuring. So if the voltage is higher, the resistance will be higher. And so that the older battery had a lower voltage, and meaning if it was charged to 3.5, it would probably be even higher than 285 that we saw. Okay. All right, I'm going to start by installing the battery in the case. Now let me try and show you the connector. Okay, so we're looking inside the case, and so that's where the let me bring a pointy thing. Okay, and here is where the battery connector needs to go in. And let me give you a view from the other camera. So I was pointing inside the case, inside here. And so this battery needs to go in like this, and then the connector needs to plug in there. Alright, I don't know how much you'll be able to see because this is going to be very tough to install, but either I will speed this up or I will edit it out. Alright, we're back. So it's been at least, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I was struggling in order to install the new battery in the case, but I think I finally got it in. And so there's an orange light here that will come on if you try to charge. And let me bring up my USB meter. Okay, so you can see that on the screen, 0 amps currently. I'm gonna plug it in and there, it's drawing 297 milliamps. And now I can show you, there's the orange light. Yeah, there you go. Hopefully you can see that. And so this will turn green once the battery is full, and it will stop charging and all that. But now, as a test, I'm gonna remove the charger cable, and we're gonna see, what are we gonna see? We're gonna see if the orange light remains. I guess it should stay there for a while and then it turns off. Okay, so I'm gonna pull, and you'll notice the amps are gonna go to 0. I'm removing the charger now. Yeah, as you can see, the light is still on, and I think after 10 seconds or something, it will go off. Yeah, it's off. So I think the first part is done, but I'm still not gonna close it and seal it. I'm gonna proceed to change the batteries in the headphone part, and then I'll test that they're charging before I seal this off. All right, like I did with the base, the case. Let me explain what the process is to solder the battery onto the headphone. The battery has, let's go to the microscope view. Okay, so this is what give a bit more light. Yeah, so this is what the battery terminals look like. As you can see, there is, let me grab my pointer again. There is this tab here. I believe this is the positive. I'll do the voltage test so we can confirm. And then there is this other tab, this one here. And that, I believe, is the focus. Okay, that's a bit better. That, I believe, is the negative. So remember that the positive is the one that's sticking out from the aluminum here, and the negative is actually coming all the way down from the bottom of the battery. You can see it comes all the way up to here. Okay, so that's the battery part. The AirPod thing looks like this. Let me reduce the brightness a bit. Yeah. So you insert the battery in here, paying attention to that tab that sticks out. The tab that sticks out has to be soldered to this solder here, and that's the positive. And then on the back of this, and then once you solder it, then you bend this part, you bring this part here, this way. So because on the back, if you look on the back, I'm going to turn it, so if you see the back, that's the other solder point which you solder to the connector that comes from the all the way from the bottom of the battery, that negative thing that we said you bend in. Okay, I know it's a bit convoluted, but that's the best I can explain it. I'm going to proceed to do the soldering now. So I've inserted the battery, as you can see there. This is the battery right there. Okay, I've inserted it inside. Paying attention to, let's go under the microscope. So paying attention that this tab here needs to align with the first solder point on the line that comes from the AirPod earphone. So once I push this all the way down, it's gonna meet up with the solder point, which is gonna be down there somewhere, and we're gonna solder these 2 points. All right, let me push it down all the way, and then we'll solder it. There we go. Okay, maybe solder it. You know what? Let me put something on, like a tape on this, because I don't want it to come in contact with the other one. Let me get some. Okay, that's a bit better. Go back under the microscope. Okay, I think I need to push this down more if it will go down. Yeah, it slid down. Yeah. So let me move it out of the way and we'll see if we can see the solder point. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, I hope, let me adjust the light and then I'll adjust the focus. Yeah. So I need to solder this part, which is on the battery, to this is on the earpieces connector. So I solder this to this, then I'm going to bend it and solder this to the one that's on the other side. Alright, let me bend it backwards so that they meet up like this. I mentioned I was going to check the voltage on the battery to see the plus and minus. Let me do that now. Let me bring up multimeter. Okay, so on the screen on the top right corner you can see it's on voltage DC, and I suspect the inside is the plus. So this is plus, and the outer tab is minus. Let's see what voltage we get and if it's positive. There you go, 3.8 volts, or almost 3.9, and there is no minus sign. So the polarity is correct. The inside is plus and the outside is the minus. Alright, I can remove this now. Okay. I changed the tips. I put the smallest tip that I could find. It's a bent tip. And so we're gonna proceed now. I'm gonna add a bit of flux. see where I put the flux. So now I'm going to take it and put a bit of solder on the tip and try to solder those together. That looks good. Let me do a quick scrubbing with alcohol. Okay, remove some of the excess flux, please. Okay. Now I need to bend this inwards or upwards in this case. You know what, this is too hard to do under the microscope. I'm going to do it directly by looking at it directly. You will not get a good view, but I can't risk screwing this up. It's too tiny. So hopefully you can see a bit how I'm bending this part. I hope you can see because it's kind of interesting. Yeah. So bending and pushing down. I'm bending it and pushing down as much as I can. Alright, I think that's good. Let's go under the microscope again. So now that's the tab. That's the tab right there that we need to bend. That we need to bend inside so that this copper on the tab meets up with this solder, which is on the Airpods connector. And when they meet up like this, then I'll put a tiny bit of solder, flux solder, and attach these together. That will be the second connection, which is the negative. Alright, so I'm going to use this helping hand. I'm not going to do it under the microscope. It's going to be too tough. So I will... Yeah, yeah, that'll work. This step is done. I'm going to do the same with the second one. I'll do it offline and we'll come back to do the test. I might seal this also with some glue and then we'll do the final test. Alright, I was able to test the earpiece. My daughter has it paired with the iPad here, so I'm playing some YouTube music. Anyway, I'm going to bring the earpiece close to the microphone on the laptop and hopefully you'll hear a bit of music. I cannot keep it on for long because of YouTube rules. Here we go. Alright, so hopefully that registered. I'm going to proceed now with putting the battery in the second earpiece and sealing them up, and I'll be back. Alright, so I installed the battery in the second one and it's working fine also. I'm going to do a sound test. I'll bring one close to the microphone so you can hear it, and then bring the other one again so you can hear it, and then we'll proceed. That's the first one. Alright, now I'm gonna put the second one. And now I'm gonna hold both of them together. There we go. I can tell you for sure that they sound excellent. I've never used AirPods before actually, but they sound excellent. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and seal these as best as I can, and then we'll try the charging case, which I removed from the charging. I think it's full enough now. Back in a bit. Well, hello again. It's the next day now. I stopped filming yesterday after I glued the earpieces, just to give a chance for the adhesive to set properly. In the meantime, I spoke to my daughter and she told me what the issue was with these AirPods. Basically, from fully charged, she starts using them, and about 1 to 2 minutes after, one of the earpieces would simply cut out. So now that I've replaced the batteries, I'm going to do a music test using whatever, like a YouTube music video, and run it for 1 hour, and then we're going to make sure that we're still hearing music. And also we're going to test the before and after battery levels. I put a battery widget here, and we're going to check the level before and also after 1 hour of playing the music. So let's do that. All right, let me open the battery and see what percentages we get. All right, so it has registered. The case is at 75% and the earpiece is at 100%. Now the reason the case is at 75% is I charged it fully, then I put the earpieces in it to charge them. One was at like 50%, one was at like around 60%. So it used some of the case battery to charge the earpieces. All right, let's go into YouTube. And we're gonna play basically this. So here are the earpieces. Let's start. And I'll set a time and an external timer for about 1 hour. Okay, let me make sure. Yeah. Let me bring it to the microphone so you can hear a bit. So hopefully you heard something there. All right, I'm gonna leave them here and we'll come back to this in about 1 hour. All right, so we're back and it's been about an hour or so. Let's see if these are still. Yeah, both are still working. This is the right one, right side. Okay. And this is the left side. So hopefully you heard that. Now I'm gonna stop the video. Let's go out from here. And here we go. It shows 83% on the earpieces. Before it was at 100% when we first started, if you remember. And the case was, I don't remember, the case was at like 75 maybe. Let me open it, see if it'll register. No, because they're already paired. Okay, let me put the earpieces back on charge. Ah, now it showed. Okay. Oh, this popped up. All right, well now we have a whole bunch of information. So this shows 84 and 75, and they are charging. Ah, it moved to 85 now. And let's close this. And this one shows 83. Ah, it's different from the pop-up. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, it shows 83% for the earpieces and 75% for the case. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. Anyway, these, I think they stay. All right, well, I'm gonna call this a success. And would I do this again? Absolutely, yes, I would, even though it was a nightmare to open these. But the love I have for repairing things outweighs the nightmare of having to open the AirPods. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.